How we doing today, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to do another ranking video. The one I did last week on ranking the insurance companies, I found myself kind of enjoying that format. It's a little easier than just sitting in front of a camera in a room by myself, trying to sound fucking inspiring. This time, though, I want to do something I'm a little bit passionate about. As you guys know, in this channel, we talk business, we talk entrepreneurship, but we also talk martial arts. That's something I'm very passionate about, something I've been practicing for almost 20 years now. Even after 20 years, I'm average at best, but something I love nonetheless. Without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to be ranking these on a tier list from S to D, with S being a superior martial art that I just think is well-rounded and effective in any scenario or most scenarios. Covers multiple bases, with D tier being dog water. Just garbage, overrated. And I'm going to be harsh on it, man. I'm going to give my honest opinions here. Some people probably not going to like my take on it, but I'm sure others will appreciate it and agree. Starting with Tai Chi. This is going straight into D tier. I mean, let's be real. It's one of those traditional martial arts from China that is just overrated. Sure, it looks cool when it's choreographed and in movies. Let's go ahead and skip here because I want to talk about both of these together. Wing Chun is going to go into D tier as well. I mean, I can appreciate the cinematic aspects behind it when it's choreographed, and sure, it looks fantastic. I love old school traditional martial arts movies, like the old Bruce Lee movies, the IP Man movies, Jackie Chan movies. I grew up on all that stuff, and I love them, and those are some of the things that got me into martial arts. So I appreciate it in a sense, but if we're being completely honest, they're overrated, man. I mean, it's been tried and tested. There was a guy in China, I forget his name. He was an MMA fighter, and he was going around to all these gyms a few years back, and he was kind of ostracized for it, but he was exposing all these old school so-called masters and just putting a beat down on them. They kind of have a place in my heart from my childhood, but at the end of the day, overrated, man. I have to call it what it is. Moving on, though, we're going to go to karate, and I almost want to put karate in A tier just based off the fact its potential. We've seen it tried. We've seen UFC champions with a pure karate base. Lyoto Machida, Wonderboy Thompson hasn't got there yet, but he definitely fights at a high level, and he has been effective. The only hindrance, though, is how watered down it is. If you have 100 karate schools and you walk into 90 of them, you're not going to have a high level of practitioners. Maybe 10% you have guys that are absolutely good. Now, karate, at a high level, it absolutely can be applicable. It can be used in scenarios, but just due to how watered down it is, I'm going to have to put it into B tier here. Although I will acknowledge fully that it does have potential, and if you're at a high level and you practice and you implement it, you can definitely be effective with karate. I mean, it has punches, kicks. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's not S tier level. It could be A tier level if it wasn't so watered down. Taekwondo. This one's sort of like karate, but not as good. I mean, so I'm going to go ahead and put Taekwondo in C tier. It can be effective. It absolutely can be at a high level. But the only thing that Taekwondo lacks is it's mainly kicks. You don't have a lot of punches mixed in. If you put a Taekwondo practitioner in a ring with a boxer, the boxer is going to cut the ring off, get him in a corner, and just piece him up. Combinations, working the angles, slipping anything, unless that Taekwondo practitioner can keep the distance and hit some nasty leg kicks and keep it at the distance. But if it's in a ring, I fully expect the boxer to cut that ring off and get inside and fight on the inside and just absolutely dominate. Now, as I said, it can be effective, but it just has so many hindrances. No takedown defense, zero grappling involved. And it's mainly kicks. Although I will say those kicks are nasty. Those kicks are absolutely nasty. Some of the best kicks in the game come from Taekwondo practitioners. Wrestling. I almost want to put wrestling in S tier just due to how magnificent of an athlete that wrestlers are. But I have to go A tier. It's super effective. It's one of those martial arts that has the most incredible takedowns, the most variety of takedowns, I think. The only issue is once you get someone to the ground, a wrestling practitioner is not going to finish them like a jiu-jitsu guy or like a judo guy. You know, they're going to kind of be lost once they get them to the ground, because if you're in a street scenario, you're not fighting on points, you're fighting for your life. Although you will get them to the ground, absolutely. You know, I do jujitsu now. I'm a blue belt, and I have guys that are wrestlers that come in off the street that give me trouble, man. And these are high school wrestlers. So I nothing but respect to the wrestlers. I think they are probably the most athletic people on earth. The way that they train is just insane. But we have to go A tier, unfortunately, due to the lack of finishes, submissions. Now, moving on to Sambo. Man, this one sort of came out of nowhere the last 10 to 15 years in the mainstream. All the Dagestanians, is that how you say it? Dagestans, all the mountain Russians, man, they have been killing it. And we've seen this tested and tried. And these high-level Sambo guys are beating jiu-jitsu guys. They're beating boxers. They're beating wrestlers. It's a nasty, nasty martial art, and super, super effective. And I have to put that in S tier. This is most definitely a superior martial art. And I see videos. They do the I think it's called combat Sambo over there. Well, they'll mix in strikes with their grappling, and that's something that jiu-jitsu lacks. Muay Thai. This is a striking based art, but as far as striking goes, I'm putting it S tier, man. I think it's one of the most well-rounded striking arts. I mean, you're using punches, kicks, knees, elbows. They fight in the clinch. They do takedowns. If you've ever watched two high-level Muay Thai guys go at it, some of the best fights you'll ever watch in your entire life. Muay Thai, nothing but respect to those Thai fighters. They are incredible. Now, this one's going to piss some people off because I know we have a lot of Krav Maga guys out there that swear by it. They say it's the greatest thing ever. They're deadly. They'll kill you. The reason we don't see it in the UFC is because we can't display our techniques. They're too dangerous. I call bullshit. You know, I'm not going to do it as bad and dirty as I did Tai Chi and Wing Chun, but I'm gonna put it in C tier. I mean, I guess it could be effective with, you know, with a groin stomp or an eye, but it's all theory based. You know what I mean? You're not actually practicing eye gouges and groin kicks. And this is the thing, when you're doing a martial art such as Muay Thai, Sambo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, judo, you're practicing and you're sparring and you're actually testing and you're able to up the intensity. You know, you have some sparring sessions where you're going hard and you're able to actually put your techniques and try them and test them out. With Krav Maga, you can't really do that. So it's all theory based. I think it's just overrated, man. I'm not a big fan of the Krav Maga. And I think Bas Rutten, he had a clip out there where he was talking about, he had some Krav Maga person come in and they said they were going to gouge his eyes out, and like they were going through some technique, but he was just an animal with it. He's like, you think I can't gouge your eyes back out? I mean, it's overrated. We'll just leave it at that. Judo, man, judo, nasty takedowns, absolute nasty takedowns. Nothing but respect to the judo practitioners. The difference between the judo though and the wrestling, judo guys can take you down super effectively. But when they get you to the ground, they're going to finish you. They're going to put you in an arm lock. They're going to put you in a shoulder lock. They're going to choke you out until you go to sleep. These guys are very, very dangerous. Now, on to boxing. My very first love. You know, I fell in love with boxing around 13, 14. Had amateur fights when I was a teenager. Love boxing. Absolutely love it. But I can't put it any higher than A tier because it again, just like wrestling, it lacks things. Now, as a striking art, pure striking, it's fantastic. You know, you can slip, you can work your angles, you can get in, you can throw nasty combinations, you can keep fighters at a distance, you can go in and fight on the inside. I mean, it's a great art. The only thing, and I realized this very quickly when I joined the gym I'm at now, American Mixed Martial Arts, which is primarily a kickboxing gym. As a boxer, me going in with a boxing base, yeah, sure, my boxing was pretty decent, but I left my leg exposed and just ate leg kick after leg kick. Didn't know how to check a kick, and I suffered for it. And by the end of 2 rounds, I'm limping around on sparring day, just getting the shit kicked out of me. But, you know, if we're going based on rules with just throwing fists, boxing is great. Now, I will say, in a street fight, 90% of the people you meet on the street don't know what they're doing. It's going to be super effective at eliminating maybe 2-3 opponents if you're a high-level boxer. very quickly and getting out of there. 1, 2, down, 1, 2, down. Get out of there, exit the situation, and get to safety. One of the best martial arts, I think, for protection. Absolutely love boxing. Now, jiu-jitsu, this is the other martial art that I do. The ones that I love. I have to be fair here. I have to be fair. I have to be unbiased. I'm going to put jiu-jitsu in A tier. You know, jiu-jitsu, it's kind of going through right now what I believe karate went through in the 80s and 90s, as well as taekwondo. I think it's getting a little watered down. You're seeing a lot of gyms these days handing out belts just due to attendance rather than skill and technique and actually being able to apply certain moves. Although I still love jiu-jitsu, and it's not hard at all to find a very good gym. And yeah, jiu-jitsu ran the tables with most martial arts back in the 90s, early 2000s. You've got a lot of competition these days, especially in MMA. You know, the organizations UFC, ONE. You got a lot of high-level wrestlers up there. Wrestling has been shown to be super effective in MMA, especially if you mix it with Muay Thai, boxing, even karate. I mean, if you have a good grappling wrestling base, you're going to be dangerous. I love jiu-jitsu. The one area it lacks is its takedowns, though. We don't really practice takedowns very often. So judo and wrestling and sambo are much more superior in that aspect. Although I think from a pure submission standpoint, jiu-jitsu has a lot more to offer, a lot more to learn. If you have them on the ground, I think jiu-jitsu can high-level jiu-jitsu guy can roll with a high-level judo guy, high-level sambo guy, high-level wrestler. It's getting them to the ground. That's the problem with jiu-jitsu. But still, I love jiu-jitsu. This is my base right here, jiu-jitsu and boxing. Would like to get a little more into wrestling and learn some takedowns or some judo takedowns as well. But I do see these guys, and I definitely do admire these guys for sure. Capoeira. We're going to go on here, and we're going to put this right into D tier. Let's be real. It's a dance. They're dancing. I guess at a high level, it could be effective against certain people. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I watched one of my favorite movies. I probably watched it 500 times, Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I think the first guy he fought in that movie was a capoeira guy. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever when I was a kid. I said, oh my God, that's so awesome. But it's a dance, man. I mean, sure, might be effective, but I'm going to have to put it D tier, bottom of the barrel when it comes to these other martial arts when you compare them side by side. And now we have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Steven Seagal with his Aikido. It's going right into D tier. Absolute trash. Aikido has some cool wrist locks and I guess using the momentum of your opponent against them. But I mean, have you ever watched this guy's videos of him doing Aikido? It's the most laughable thing I've ever seen. Look at this. Look at this right here. This is Aikido, ladies and gentlemen. The guy's giving zero resistance. Oh yeah, nice throw there. 100% choreographed. It's even better when he's doing this to like 10 people at once. Let's give it up for Steven, guys. Steven Seagal. There we go, 2 of them. And I used to like Steven Seagal too when I was a kid. I used to watch his movies and think he was a badass. Kung Fu, which I am going to have to put into... This kind of falls in with... We'll put it in C tier. You know, bit overrated, but I could see it being effective, maybe. So we'll put it C tier. I mean, Kung Fu still has a place in my heart because of all the Kung Fu movies I grew up watching. Same thing with like the Tai Chi and the Wing Chun. But we have to be honest, it's a bit overrated. And I just realized I forgot to include kickboxing on here. Jesus, and I go to a kickboxing gym. Go figure. I've been getting into that a bit more, involving the kicks, incorporating learning checks. And I'm going to have to put kickboxing S tier as well, man. I'm sorry. It's above boxing. High level kickboxers, and I say this because I spar some of those guys in my gym, and we have some national champions, we have a world champion, and they beat the shit out of me. It's not even fair. It's like it's as if I'm a 5-year-old trying to fight his father. And these kids are younger than me. They're 10, 15 years younger than me. Completely demasculated by these guys. But kickboxing, absolutely at a high level, S tier, 100% for sure. So we're just going to pretend kickboxing is right there. And then we have MMA, which is also going to be S tier, superior martial art. Of course, it is combining martial arts. What we see a lot with MMA is you got guys that have their base of 1 to 2 things. I always recommend you have a striking base and a grappling base. Any of these mixed together, boxing and judo, dangerous. Jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, dangerous. Kickboxing and wrestling, dangerous. Sambo and boxing, dangerous. That's going to make MMA right there. It's going to make you a very dangerous person, very capable person of defending yourself and your family. But this is my definitive list of the martial arts ranked. I know that there are more, but these are kind of the mainstream ones that people hear about. So my recommendation, if you are going to train a martial art, make it any of these 7, guys, in my opinion here. Combination of these. Do at least 2 of them. And after a year, 6 months to a year, you're going to be a very capable man. But that's it, guys. That's all I have today. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, leave a comment. If you disagreed with me, I'm sure there may be. I hope there's a Krav Maga guy that watches this that just is fuming out of his ears. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know where I'm wrong. Let me know where I'm right. Until next time, guys.